Grammar time, sentences and fragments. Make sure you have a guided note sheet in front of you that says grammar, sentences, and fragments so you can fill in these notes as we go. A perfect place to start is with my very favorite, Schoolhouse Rock.
This is the tale of Mr. Morton. Mr. Morton is who? He is the subject of our tale, and the predicate tells what Mr. Morton must do. Mr. Morton walked down the street. Mr. Morton walked. Mr. Morton talked to his cat. Mr. Morton talked. Hello, cat. You look good. Mr. Morton was lonely. Mr. Morton was. Mr. Morton is the subject of the sentence, and what the predicate says he does. Mr. Morton knew just one girl. Mr. Morton knew. Mr. Morton grew flowers for Pearl. Mr. Morton grew. Mr. Morton was very shy. Mr. Morton was. Mr. Morton is the subject of the sentence, and what the predicate says he does.
That's a perfect place to start. What we have is a main idea of a subject and a predicate that make a full sentence. In each of these sentences, Mr. Morton was our subject, and whatever the predicate says, he did. We needed those two parts to make a full sentence. So Mr. Morton walked, Mr. Morton talked, Mr. Morton knew, Mr. Morton grew, and Mr. Morton was. Big ideas here. When we have a sentence, an English sentence is a complete thought. It has these two parts, a subject and a predicate. Now that subject tells us who or what the sentence is about. That's what Schoolhouse Rock would have told us if we kept listening. And the predicate tells us what is doing, what that who or what is doing, or what it is, or what is being done to it. So if the subject of a sentence is what the sentence is about, it always answers the who or the what. In our two examples here, the students are studying grammar. We have the who is studying grammar. Of course, it is the students are studying grammar. The car stalls at every intersection. Well, we can say who or what is this sentence about, and this sentence is about the car. The predicate of a sentence says something about the subject, and it contains words that express action or a state of being. Now, either of those are considered the verb, that's what's happening, if we were to watch that other famous Schoolhouse Rock. The verb, that's what's happening. And it's important to know that it's not always just action, but it's also state of being. Be, am, is, are, do, does, did, has, have, had, may, might, must, could, would, should, all kinds of good stuff like that. So we're in a kind of state of being. So the students are studying grammar. I can sit here and say, well, what are the students doing? They are studying grammar. There's our predicate. The car stalls at every intersection. What does the car do? The car stalls. That's our most basic predicate. We can draw a little dashed line under all this because that's also part of that predicate. It tells us where, gives us a little more detail about where it stalls or when it stalls. But the biggest idea, the most simplest form of that sentence, the car stalls. So, let's practice a little. Identify the subject and predicate of each sentence. Draw a line between the subject and predicate and label S for subject or P for predicate. Number 1, Bill hung the picture on the wall. When I think about who this subject is about, or what, I see that it's Bill. So here's our subject. And when I think about what he did, well, he hung a picture up. That's our predicate. That's what we're looking at for this part of what he did. So our division, that line we're going to draw, is right here. Bill is our subject. Hung the picture on the wall is our predicate. Hit pause, try these last 4 examples on your own, and then check your work at the end. All right, I hope you hit pause there because here are your solutions. Double check that you said the student is our subject, is sleeping is the predicate. Our line should be right between there. You know, this in the red shirt just gives us a little bit more detail about this student. So we can keep that here on this side of the line because in the red shirt tells us more about the student. It belongs on the subject side of the line. I will be driving soon. I subject, will be driving, predicate. The class started. Well, the sentence is about the class. That's our subject. What did it do? It started. There's our predicate. Flipping over to the back side, looking at our second rule. Fragments are blank sentences. They lack a subject or predicate, and they express an incomplete thought. I'm going to actually steal that exact word right there because that's our answer. Fragments are incomplete sentences. When I say gave away his iPod, well, I have an action. I have a predicate part. Here's our verb, gave away. But I don't know who or what, so this one's missing a subject. Oops, I was supposed to drag that. The main character in The Catcher in the Rye. Well, sounds like I have a who. I know I'm talking about Holden Caulfield. But we're missing something more than that. So what we're missing is the verb. Ooh, grabbing the wrong stuff here. We're missing the verb, and that means we're missing the predicate. If we don't have any action that he's doing, we're missing both the verb and the predicate. One of the most common types of fragments occurs when students start using subordinate clauses. So using a subordinate clause. A subordinate clause is a group of words that contains a subject and a predicate, but it cannot stand alone. There's something about it, usually a word in the front of it, that makes it kind of dangle there. It makes it so it needs some full sentence to stand on. They often begin with these words that are able to link it to another sentence, these conjunctions that are things that make it depend on another full sentence. These are words like because or since. Because her performance was flawless. If we just had that part here, her performance was flawless, we would have a full sentence. However, because we have this word in front, this subordinate conjunction, because, that's what makes it an incomplete sentence. If someone were to run up to you and just say, because her performance was flawless, you'd probably say, yeah, what happened because her performance was flawless? You want to know more. When the students returned home, well, what happened when the students returned home? To help fix some of these things, we can start to add something either to the end or to the beginning so they aren't sitting there by themselves. Since he lives in Muskegon, he shovels snow all January. Now we have a full sentence. We have something that actually happened. Or another way to fix these is just simply to remove the subordinating conjunction in front and make sure we have a capital letter there. The students returned home. To test for fragments, ask yourself these 3 questions. Yikes, didn't want to do that. Is there a verb? If not, add one. Is there a subject? If not, add one. And is there a subordinating conjunction? If so, remove it. Or add that sentence to another one, or add to the sentence to finish it off. So let's look at these 6 examples here at the bottom. Write an F if it's a fragment, S if it's a sentence. If it's a fragment, say what's missing. The guy who works at Meijer. Well, that sounds like a fragment to me. I don't know what he did. I have a subject, but it's missing a verb. It's really hard because I have works, so it looks like a verb. But I have the guy who works at Meijer. It's telling me more about the guy, not what he did. So I could simply fix it by saying the guy who works at Meijer lost his keys. That's one way I could fix it. Because she felt ill. No, I'm sorry to hear that she's feeling ill, but we have another fragment here. Maybe I could just cross off this, capitalize S, and that would certainly fix it. Hit pause, try these last few on your own, and start the video when you're ready. Alright, here are those corrections in red. Number 3 is a complete sentence. Number 4, a fragment. Didn't have a subject, so I added one. Number 5 was a fragment. Gave us, again, that subordinating clause. So I added, we ate ice cream at the end. Number 6, also a fragment, the one that starts with a subordinating conjunction. There's no verb. We have a subject, but we don't have a verb, so I said the one that starts with a coordinated conjunction is tricky. Alrighty, nice job. Make sure you have everything filled in. Hang on to these notes. We'll be using a fragment practice worksheet. Make sure you pick one up.